Welcome everyone. My name is Martin Olczyk. I'm Managing Director here at Techstars. I'm here with my team. We'll do a quick introduction in a few seconds. First of all, thanks for being with us. Very excited about this upcoming hour to tell you more about us, the program, how we help startups grow. And of course, we want to learn about you guys as well. So let's kick off with the slides, please, Sheila. Here we go. Okay, so today is all about speaking about unlocking startup growth. We want to show you how Techstars, how we with our program here in Torino help our companies growing in and beyond the program. We have some alumni companies with us, so it's not just me talking about it. We have 2 sessions with our program supporter, Arcanys Ventures, also an investor in one of those 2 companies that are with us tonight. And we have also time for Q&A at the end. So keep your questions. We want to keep it very interactive. What are we going to cover today? We do a quick intro in a few seconds. We want to show you how Techstars helps companies and why we believe that collaboration not only drives innovation, but also fuels growth in our companies. We then have a fireside chat with our alumni company, Gianluca from Hive Power. Then Fred will come on stage and talk about Arcanys Ventures.
Okay. So you have to end this way.
Yes. So you guys don't mind muting yourself. Thank you. And yeah, after that, we have another fireside chat with Jing, who is dialing in from San Francisco. And then we have enough time for Q&A. All right, so it's not just about us. We also want to know who you are. So please use the chat. Tell us in a few words about yourself. What are you building? Why are you building it? Where are you from? We want to network. We want to understand better like who is joining us today and why. Yeah, if you have any questions in between, you can always raise your hand. We try to cover them if they are very short. If not, put questions in the chat. Virginia, my colleague here, is to manage it. And at the end, let's keep it interactive. So don't be shy. You can go and unmute yourself. We'll call you out. Ask your questions, ask us, ask our alumni about Techstars experience, and ask, of course, Arcanys Ventures about their model, how they help startups and how they invest in companies. Okay, let's kick it off. So we have a huge group today. Two words about myself. I'm Martin, running the program here since setting it up in 2019. Before that, I was running Techstars in Berlin, Germany, then in Amsterdam, Netherlands. Former founder, built 4 companies across different industries, had 1 exit, 1 failure, 2 bootstrap businesses. And yeah, since then I'm investing with Techstars across the globe. Handing over to Fred.
Hi, everyone. I'm Fred Joye. I'm the managing partner of Arcanys Ventures. I'm originally Swiss, but based in the Philippines. I've co-founded Arcanys, which is a software development outsourcing company, in 2010. And about 8 years ago, we've decided to also help startups by investing tech teams in tech startups. And I'm excited to be with you tonight.
Thank you, Fred. Gianluca.
Yeah, great. It's really great to meet you all tonight. So my name is Gianluca Corbellini. I am the CEO and co-founder at Hive Power. We basically, with our company, we enable automated smart charging for electric vehicles to charge them at the best time, best price, and with a seamless user experience. We've been through the Techstars Torino program in 2022. It was an amazing experience, and we'll tell you later on more about that story. Great to meet you.
Thank you, Gianluca. Great to have you with us. Jing, please.
Hi, how are you? So my name is Jing Zhu. I am co-founder of Duet. So we are based in Silicon Valley in California. And we develop a very powerful data-driven SaaS solutions to empower healthcare transportation services. So we are at the interface of healthcare and transportation. We went through the Techstars program, Martin's program, back in 2021, and really benefited it. And so I'd love to chat with you more about it later. Thanks.
Thanks for joining. Must be early for you. And my colleague Sheila.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sheila. I'm the program manager of the Techstars program here in Turin, together with Martin and Virginia, who's with us today. And I'm mainly responsible to manage the program, make sure founders get a lot of value, out of it, hosting a lot of workshops and being in touch with all our speakers, mentors, and hosting webinars like the one today, and excited to be hosting the 2 fireside chats today with our alumni.
Great to see you all, and let's move on, please. Okay, I'm going to briefly talk about who we are at Techstars before we dive deeper into our program here in Turin. Techstars is a global early stage investor, started in 2006. Since then, we invested in more than 4,000 companies across the globe with a market cap of more than 116 billion. We have 21 unicorns in the portfolio. As of today, we invest in roughly 700 companies per year. We do that by combining capital plus know-how and the network. So all investments are done via our accelerators across the globe. Usually we invest or tend to invest very early. Many times we are the first institutional investor in the companies, and our companies tend to raise roughly 1 million funding after our program within 6 to 12 months. And we are not only operating here from Turin, Italy, but we are truly global. If you see here, we have currently 45 accelerators in 33 cities, from the US, starting in Atlanta to Washington. We have programs here in Europe, from Amsterdam to Torino. We're also running programs in Asia Pacific, Sydney and Tokyo, and we have a fully online program called Techstars Anywhere. So you have many opportunities to apply to Techstars. We have now 12 programs applications open until November 20th, including ours, of course. So if you look through our website, which program fits you best, based on industry, based on location, that might help you identifying the best fit for your company. Of course, the most exciting one and in the most beautiful location is here in Turin. Bit of selfish advertisement. What we do here at Techstars in the 3 months, and our program will start at February 24th, 2025. We are now entering the 6th batch. So we invested in 50 companies, very successful in the past 5 years, despite COVID and pretty difficult market environments. Those companies went to raise more than 120 million in follow-on funding. We have seen companies growing from 2 people to 200 people, doing acquisitions, being acquired. We help those companies finding the right direction. How do we do that? We bring 12 teams together in one batch. We bring them here to Turin in our case. We condense 2 years of work in 13 weeks. And I think Jingzhu and Gianluca might tell you more about it. It's a very intense program, very intense bootcamp, but we try to identify your blind spots, setting you for future growth with the right strategy, with the right framework, and then helping you beyond the program to grow your company. We are going to explain it in a second how we do that. Sheila, if you move to the next slide. We accelerate companies. So when we invest, as I mentioned earlier, we provide you with capital, know-how, how to build successful companies, and a global network, not just ours, but also like companies like Arcanys Ventures or our partners. We work here with Italy's largest bank and 2 foundations who open huge networks. So by joining us, you have a global network that is here to help you to grow your company now, later, and in the future. We help you with fundraising. We focus a lot on making you fundraising ready. This means we need to grow your traction first. We help you with financial documents, with pitch deck, with pitch practice. We invite a lot of investors to the program, and then help you with the right strategy to find your next investor. We are also helping you to find your product market fit faster than outside of this program. Imagine you meet 100, 150 people within 2-3 weeks here in the program, 11 other companies that are joining with you, plus a huge network of Techstars with 4,000 companies, more than 10,000 founders, a lot of companies that are also like joining with our corporate partners. So you have a lot of exposure to potential clients to identify what is missing and how to improve your product based on the market needs. Okay, let's move on here. We don't do it alone. So you've met already Sheila, and Virginia is here with us today as well. We have also Nicola and Emanuela, who are here full-time to support you during the program, but also beyond. For the program duration, we also have more than 100 mentors who very often help you beyond the program. They invest in companies. They help you with their network. So you also have 100 people who are coming here, opening their networks. We hire entrepreneurs and residents, help you with finance, entrepreneurs and residents, help you with technology. We have great partnerships here in Turin and beyond with companies that are hungry for innovation, looking for startups. So you're not alone. You get a huge network by joining the program here in Turin. We've done it many, many times. So it's my 8th program now. Sheila is coming and joining now for the 4th program already. Wow, time is running. Virginia is here. She came from Plug and Play. Join us from the investor side, joining us for the 3rd program now. So we have a team that truly works very closely for many, many years. And I would say, looking at our results, we know what we do. So you're in best hands with all your problems. We're not looking for companies that are perfect. We really try to help you and consider us as a co-founder in building this company. And speaking about collaboration, what I said at the beginning, we truly believe that collaboration is helping you to grow your company. And in addition to our team, mentors, entrepreneurs, we have a huge ecosystem here in Turin that we've built over the past 5-6 years. We have great companies who help with business development, strategic support, like our corporate partners. We have great access to POCs and testing in the city. We invested here in the first 2 years in smart mobility related companies, then smart city related topics. So we have a strong collaboration with Torino City Lab. There are 80, 90 large companies, just to drop some names like Cisco, Microsoft, Intel, who are looking for innovation. They bring top level executives to the program to elaborate collaborations with you as a startup. We have also great access to talent and community, to universities, to management schools, where you can find your next employees. We have great success stories here where companies found their teams growing from Turin. But we also have great investors. Our neighbor here, Lyft, also a program supporter like Arcanys Ventures, including Arcanys Ventures, of course, who help you with office hours, who help you with strategizing, and potentially, of course, also investing in your business. Yeah, so let's move on, please. So how do we put it into action? And we'll speak about it when you hear from Gianluca and Jing. But overall, the program across Techstars is always in a very similar format. So it's a 13-week program. In the first 4 weeks, we focus on mentor engagement and network. So we bring 100 mentors to the program. We bring corporate partners, global network partners from all over the world, the Techstars team experts, alumni companies who help you understanding what is not working in the company. As I said, we don't look for perfect companies. We try to help you with identifying your blind spots and setting a strategy for the second month, which then results in execution and growth. So once we understand what is not working and we know how to improve it, you work with your group of mentors, usually 3 to 5 mentors, plus our team, plus mentors and entrepreneurs and residents, plus corporates on execution and growth. And we tend to invest extremely early. So we invest in companies at MVP stage, sometimes even like not an MVP stage, but we also invest in companies who already have traction. We invest in companies with 20, 30,000 monthly recurring revenue. So it depends where your company is and what you need. So we can understand in this first 4 weeks better how to set you for success, and then either grow it or go back to validation, customer accommodation, customer validation before we put down the throttle and help you grow. And the third month is basically a result of month 1 and 2. We combine all the learnings and hopefully growth and traction that we're growing here almost every day to compel great equity story that we can present to investors. We have many investors like Fred being part of the program, taking office hours, going through your pitch deck. We work on your financial model, we work on the strategy. You have the chance to meet real VCs many, many times, partners like Fred, who give you feedback, who try to connect with you, who build a relationship and potentially either invest. We see many companies receive funding in the program and beyond, of course, and we are not finishing here. So we continue with roundtables, with different people coming in, with VC investor meeting, alumni companies who've been there, Gianluca will probably get but closed around recently. There will be a lot of activities that are happening outside of the program. So this is as an overview for 3 months. Yeah, we can move on. What we do after the program, we don't stop here. So Virginia is here, I'm here to support you with the fundraising. Let it be strategy, let it be connecting to investors, negotiations, whenever you call us, we're here. And of course, we have a huge network at Techstars. We are sending a regular newsletter. We create different events for investors and our companies. We help you with business development, of course, like growing a company. And our partners are here as well if you decide to start a company here in Italy or access to the local corporates and network. Okay, we have many more resources. I want to keep it short because attention should be today on our alumni and Arcanys Ventures, how they unlock growth. We have a lot of webinars and blogs that you can access after the webinar. Sheila will send you an email tomorrow with all the links, so you can learn more about how to apply to our program. We have alumni voices telling more about their experience. And there are also like blogs from my colleagues, Andres here from Techstars Miami, giving you some insights how to improve your application. We and me and Virginia, we did a webinar recently here, live on LinkedIn as well, speaking about the application preview, what it means, how to stand out with the application, as we receive so many applications from all over the world. So give it a look. And I'm stopping here now. We can move to our first fireside chat with Sheila and Gianluca. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Martin, for the thorough introduction. So I'm happy to moderate the first fireside chat with Gianluca. You already met him in the beginning. For those who joined a few minutes later, maybe Gianluca is one of the alumni from our Techstars program here in Turin. A quick setting the tone to this fireside chat. So for us, our alumni, the founders who've been through the program are really the most important, let's say, source of truth. They can really tell you what it is like, how it made a pivotal change in their growth trajectory, and how they grew their business together with us throughout the program, but also beyond. So Gianluca, please join me. Come on camera if you're not yet. Yeah. And welcome. Thanks for joining us. Give us a quick intro, going back also to 2021 when you applied to Techstars, and giving us also a bit of an idea of where you were at with the company with Hive Power when you decided to apply. What were your challenges, your traction, and for those who joined late, maybe another very quick intro of what you're doing with Hive Power.
Yeah, thanks, Sheila. Great to meet you again, everyone. So basically in, let's say, late 2021, we were already an official university spin-off based in Switzerland and developing this software to automate smart charging for electric vehicles, but also for other verticals. And so we were really a team of already 9-10 people with very strong technical background, like engineers, researchers, computer scientists. But we were really still lacking how to define the go-to-market or really more the commercial side. So we were already making some substantial progress in deploying pilot projects with some, let's say, friends working in good customers. But it was just the initial kick. So we were really challenging. We were facing challenges into scaling behind those pilot projects. So we struggled to transition from localized pilots to broader and repeatable market solutions, which is, of course, very important in the scaling up of a startup. So the market penetration and the business development were definitely in a very, let's say, in a very small stage, or very early stage for our development. So summarizing, let's say that at that time we had a working MVP. We had a clear view or a clear vision on the market potential, but it was very long-term, not really practical. We had a very strong technical team to deploy the solution, but the main problems were that the go-to-market strategy was not there yet at all. So we definitely need a lot of support in sales, marketing, strategizing that. we were really lacking the right people to kick sales and marketing. And you can imagine for a team of engineers, it's not easy to hire the right people there and then to kickstart those processes. So we need a lot of support there. Many other problems, but I think the other very big one was that we were already at that time actively fundraising our first, let's say, round after friends and family, but without a structured and efficient approach. So we were really looking for making it efficient, making it repeatable, and you need something that will let you meet 100 investors to find the right 3 or 5 good ones. So that was the stage. Very technical team, but still looking to really build a company, not just software.
Okay, and looking back, we really encourage also founders to do a good bit of let's say due diligence on us. We encourage them to make an educated decision on which program to apply to and if to apply, and also to have really clear what they need to work on and what are the current challenges. What helped you in the decision-making process? We have a lot of founders here today that might are not sure yet if to apply or not. What helped you to make the decision to submit an application and later on also accept the offer?
Yeah, so basically, once again, we were mostly a team of engineers, especially the founders. So people were in general skeptical when they have to buy something or to select something. So we did a lot. We loved to do a lot of research before committing. And at that time, it was quite easy. I think the decision to do it was to get in touch and try to have feedbacks from previous founders that have been in the program. So I've been basically stalking almost all of them on LinkedIn or other resources. Many of them actually came back with, okay, let's have a call. And all of them, I was really surprised, to be completely transparent, that all of them were like super positive feedbacks with basically no relevant drawbacks. It was like, oh shit, this is something that looks like a no-brainer. There are always like things that can make you doubtful about applying or not. It's a lot of effort, a lot of time. You have to go there. You have to maybe, when you're doing that, maybe you're not doing something else. But I really think also get in touch with me. Feel free to reach out on LinkedIn. You can easily find me or anywhere. I'm very happy to give you super brutally honest feedback or tell you all about the experience in the program. I think there's nothing better than having real feedback. I think previous founders have no interest in tell you something which is not true at all. So you can have very relevant feedbacks. And for us, it was after the feedbacks, the brand also, we were already, as I told you, fundraising at that time. We discussed with investors and we said, oh, we're in the shortlist for Techstars. Everybody was super excited. So then we really also found that the value of the brand was there. And, it's something that really helped us in the decision. Today, also something to add is that you are surrounded by a crazy number of accelerators, incubators, venture studios, but it's always like in those industries, they are not commodities at all. It's like you have maybe a crazy power law when the good ones are very few, and Techstars is definitely one of the very good ones because they have a long story, long success. And so if you want to go through an accelerator or an incubator or venture studio, whatever, I really recommend to do it, but also to do it with one of the very big 3-5 names in the world, when Techstars is one of them. So I think it's all about getting being confident once you go there, because then you need a lot of energy. You must be committed. But once you're there, I think after a few days, you will not regret it. So that was our
awesome. Very, very honest insights. And yeah, we really encourage anyone, reach out to Gianluca, to Jing. They're here with us today, but we have a lot of alumni, not just from our program, but all over the world. Get your feedback, maybe from someone who's in a similar industry like you. And they are really usually always open to speak. And let's also talk a bit about the in-program experience and going back to what Martin was sharing before, talking about the power of the network and all the collaborations we have with investors, corporates, that we introduced to the founders throughout the whole program. And I would say, or I think we can say that for Hive Power, you really made the most out of these connections. So I would like to specifically speak a bit about your experience of getting connected to big Italian corporates, in this case, like Iren. Maybe for a bit of context for who's not Italian, Iren is Italy's leading utility operator in electricity, gas, heating, and water management. And we facilitated, I believe, through our corporate day, a meeting for you, which then resulted later on also in a POC, also with some other companies. So let's talk a bit about that. Did you plan to set up these kind of pilots already before with these companies, or was that something that developed throughout the program?
Yeah, let's say also for a company like us, which is basically providing a software with the target of working with very big utilities, very big automakers, very big mobility companies, running pilot projects is essential. So you don't just sell out of the blue multi-million-dollar contract. And so that was really one of the main goals in that period, but in general, since until last year. And you know, if you work with very big companies, you definitely know that it's very hard to work with them. It's extremely hard to work with them, especially for a startup. First of all, because they have so many people, and you need, first of all, to really find a champion on the other side that want to bring on innovative solutions, to bring something new. And so for us, for example, we did, during the program, we really established pilot projects with both Iren and a Stellantis company. With Iren, we were already even in touch before, but you know that meeting them in the program regularly, it really helped a lot to create a real relation. And in networking, you know, it's I think my personal opinion is really about building trust. So you need to meet people multiple times. They want to work with you. You have to spend at least I don't know, 2-3 hours to get there. The trust, and then after that it's a different game. Then you, of course, you have to deliver, you have to build it. It's not for free, but then huge opportunities can open. So the project with Iren was pretty successful after the program. So we're now discussing together how to really go to market in Italy. It's not happened yet, only because the electric vehicle market in Italy is still very let's say small, or facing a plateau, not really kicking in. And the other very big one was with Stellantis, with the Stellantis company. Also working with Stellantis for a startup is extremely difficult in general, but if you can meet them, and of course in Techstars you will meet the right people, because they're not sending their lazy old people who are not just looking into, I don't know, logistics legacy stuff, but you will meet really the people like innovation managers, or even corporate venture capital people, really people that want to enable your solution for real. So for us, it was really a game changer, because then again, in the B2B business for very big companies, it's very important to have all those brands in your slides to say, okay, we work with Stellantis, and then you can work with other very big automakers or similar companies. So it's really a kind of snowball that can help you a lot in your growth. And I think you can do similar things without accelerator program, but then it will take maybe 2-3 years. So that's really acceleration for real. I just understood the real why it was named like that during the program, because then in those 3 months you can get something that will take really years to develop. But if you do it in years, you're too late, and you lose a lot of value. So it was really, really important. We also met other companies where we are partnering, because in the B2B ecosystem where we are, it's very important to have the right players as partners. So it was very cool about meeting those corporates there.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing all these experiences. Looking a bit at the time in our agenda and to keep some time in the end for open questions, we can move on. Thanks, Gianluca, for the first insights, and please stay with us also for the open Q&A in the end. Yeah, we'll hear maybe more from you later on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Let's move on with Arcanys Ventures. Fred, please unmute yourself. Tell us more about how Arcanys is supporting founders globally.
Yep. Hi everyone. I'm super excited to be with you. So at Arcanys Ventures, we really understand the challenges that come with building a tech startup. And one of the biggest challenges is hiring the right tech talent without draining your early capital. So it means we provide a work for equity model that directly lowers your tech hiring costs, supports you as a founder, and extends your runway, which means it allows you to focus on your efforts on product and market growth. And so hiring, onboarding, managing a technical team can be really super time consuming and expensive. So the goal of Arcanys Venture is to help you gain the technical resource you need without the burdensome upfront costs. And instead of investing time and capital into building an in-house team only, an in-house only tech team from scratch, you can really focus on developing a high quality product, understanding your customers, creating the best market strategy. And our goal is to become really a true part of your team. It's not just by providing expertise, but also by offering really operational support that helps you build robust, adaptable technology. And our goal really is to emphasize accelerating product development, which enables you to bring your product to market sooner and scale it more efficiently. And so we really believe that this approach ensures that you can focus on really innovation, strategic decisions, instead of just worrying about the mechanics of tech hiring and team management. And in addition, it's also not just about hitting milestones. So just come back. It's not just about hitting milestones. It's really, really about building a solid and resilient foundation to avoid technical debt, which can become a real big issue down the road. And so next slide. So what does it mean in practice? So basically, we partner with startups in the late seed to pre-series A stages by investing between $200,000 to $500,000 worth of software development services. And so this means you get a full-time dedicated team of around 2 to 8 engineers, depending on each startup. It depends where you're at, what you need to get done. We can also add QAs or architects that are really specifically chosen to match your project needs and fill in the gap of your existing team. So it means we're not replacing a team, we're complementing an existing team or a CTO or a lead developer. It could be just one person or it could be many other people. And in addition to developers, we can also provide specialized roles such as UI, UX designers, Scrum Masters, business analysts to really, really strengthen the capabilities of the team. And lastly, we can also do that in case you guys run into problems with, for example, your CTO. We can add a fractional CTO if you need one, usually only temporarily. And so the partnership is not just about delivering a product. It's really about us being with you through the entire journey. So as you guys grow, we grow with you. And whether you need additional talent, new technology expertise, or simply someone to advise you on critical decisions, our engagement is really designed to evolve with your needs. And when we say long-term partners, we really mean it. So we come in and invest for one round. We can invest in many rounds. And because we understand also that the startup environment is fluid and your needs would change with time, we evolve with you. And it means we don't simply move on after the initial build. We stay involved and we ensure that we continue to add value over time, whether it's by helping you enhance features, expanding your product, or scaling your tech team as your customer base increases. And our team is basically your team. Our flexibility means that we can adjust our approach to align with your goals. And in many cases, as I mentioned earlier, we do follow-on investments after the first round to support you further. And so we do this from the Philippines. Our team is based in the Philippines, which allows you to also benefit from the advantages of having a lower wages than if you were doing stuff onshore. And next slide. Great. And so one of the key advantages we provide is the reduction of the upfront capital needed to build your tech capabilities, as you've understood. So because typically startups need to raise significant amounts of money to cover the product development costs. And our equity for tech model means you could, for example, reduce your initial raise from 1 million to, instead of 1 million, you could just raise $700,000, which would save you time and stress in fundraising and get you as much stuff done as if you were raising 1 million. Basically, it lets you allocate more resources to other essential activities like marketing or customer acquisition, improving your company's overall health and growth potential. And the other part is that our onboarding process is really fast. You can get people in your team within 2 to 3 weeks. And your tech team can be really fully operational, which is really a big contrast to the usual 3 to 6 months it could take you to hire locally. And this rapid upscaling is really crucial, really, as you know, because timing is critical in the startup world. And also preserving cash is a constant concern for startups, and our model directly supports this goal. So it's offshore resources coupled with Swiss or European management to ensure quality without the high costs associated to the local talent. So because of this being really cost efficient, it enables you to maintain a lot of flexibility in your budget, which means you can invest more strategically in your business growth area. Next slide, please. So I just would like to briefly introduce Duet. I don't want to talk too much about the Duet's journey. Jing will do that in the fireside chat later with Sheila. But basically, we are a strategic partner committed to the success of Jing. Our horizon in general is to be with you for around 7 to 10 years, or for as long as you need a team from our side. And I'll just do a really brief introduction of Jing and Duet, which is a company in our portfolio and a Techstars alumni that face challenge in scaling their tech team because of struggling with the high cost of hiring local engineers, even more so in San Francisco, as you might imagine. It's probably where it's the most expensive in the world. So we managed to embed a technical team with Duet. And I think I will stop here and let Jing explain more of the journey that she had both with Techstars and with us. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay.
Perhaps if you allow one question, Fred, that I see here in the chat. Godfrey is asking, how much equity do you normally ask for? Yeah. So the equity we ask for is really defined by how much you're raising and how much we're putting as an investment. So basically, the investment size from our side is defined by how much work is needed in this round. So we would do due diligence to understand how much work is needed for the horizon of this raise. Usually a raise is
is between 12 to 24 months. So let's say 18 months. And the amount of our investment is defined by how many people for 18 months you would need. And let's say the investment size then would be $200,000 worth of services, and your valuation, I'm just taking random numbers, is $2 million. Then it would mean that it's 10% of the equity that would take.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's move on.
Sorry, can you please repeat how much percent?
How much percentage?
Yeah.
Is that? Yeah, so it really depends on the size of the ticket that we would put. So depending on the circumstances, we can invest from $200,000 to $500,000 per round. And so that's the value of the investment. And then the percentage of the equity is depending on your valuation. So for example, earlier I took the example of if the work that we define is needed together with the startup is $200,000 at a valuation of $2 million, then it's 10% of the equity.
Okay, thank you for answering already some questions. I see some other people are raising hands. Maybe drop your question in the chat and we can have a look. Maybe Fred, if you have some time also to answer through the chat, and we have an open Q&A later. So let's move to the second fireside chat with Jing. So Jing, welcome. And I would like to chat with you a bit more about your experience in the partnership with Arcanys Ventures. So let's start by give us another quick intro to Duet, where your struggles were also before joining the Techstars program in 2021. So also for the ones coming late, Jing is also an alumni of our program. She joined the 2021 program, which ran virtually due to COVID. And yeah, let's start with a quick intro.
Okay, thanks, Shira, and thanks everybody for having me. And it's really great to be here. And I missed the program a lot. In any case, so I am a co-founder and CEO of Duet. So we're based in Silicon Valley. So actually, I'm sitting in the office in downtown San Jose in California. And we actually started pretty early on, 2 years before our Techstars program. So we started as software solutions to support commuters doing last mile transportation between offices and train stations or BART stations in the Bay Area. So, and then the pandemic hit. So nobody commute. And so we were devastated. And around that time, our first customer, like the first, I would say pilot, there was one customer is interested in our software at that time. And they tried it out. They actually happened to be in healthcare transportation. And we looked into it. We really loved the space, and it resonated with me personally because I'm the chauffeur for my mother who goes to a doctor's appointment. I always drive her. So we pivot. So when we joined the program around that time is actually a really inflection point for us. So we're actually moving toward more healthcare transportation, really. So we go through the program with I think 10 or 12, 11 other companies. So I really enjoyed the program. I got a lot out of it. Meet quite a few founders and also mentors, and stayed in touch with many of them. And so to chat more about details.
Yes, thanks for the quick intro and telling us a bit about how it started and where you went until the program. So one of the lucky connections, let's say, you made the strategic connections through the program was getting connected with Arcanys Ventures. And as Fred shared a bit as well, they come on board when founders need to make critical decisions. And again, here also what Gianluca was mentioning before, it's really important to build trust very quickly and to onboard an investor or decide to partner with an investor with a more, let's say, atypical investment structure. What made you decide to do that, to partner with Arcanys Venture? How did you build the trust, and how did you do your due diligence on them as a founder?
Yeah, sure. So when we were going through the program, we were actually really struggling with our software. So we, the program really helped us go to market as well. So we started doing a little bit of email marketing, and we got quite a bit interest in our software, but it was actually the performance of our software is not there yet. So in healthcare transportation, just give you guys a little bit backdrop of information. In healthcare transportation, our software is being used by our customers who actually provide the transportation services to patients with mobility challenges. Those are wheelchair bound or bed bound patients who needs to go to doctor's appointment. So the importance, so we are mission critical to our customers' service management. So the software has to be very robust. I remember back then, like when we were going through the program, we did some marketing, we got some interests, but our software is now there. Like even when a customer complained that we're loading 200 trips, it takes like more than a minute. We need to dispatch very fast in seconds. This performance is not good. So we actually lost a couple of early like pilot accounts. So we were really struggling that time. And when I talked with Martin, I said, actually, we do have a product problem now, technology problem. We need a more engineering resource, and but it's really expensive to hire in the Bay Area, specifically. So there any help? I was talking with Martin. I was talking with other founders in the program, and Martin told me, oh yeah, actually I worked with this engineering talent agency based in Asia. So if you're interested, I really like them. And if you're interested, I'm happy to make an introduction. So that's how I connected with Arcanys. And we had a really good chat. And so can I tell a little bit more detail how our first meeting is? So Fred is my first contact. We had good conversation, and I chatted with Alan too. There are a couple of things that actually really strike me about Arcanys is we looked into, before Arcanys, we did look into various options. Like there are quite a few dev shops in Asia. We talked with a few, but we don't like the model of dev shop. A lot of dev shops, because they take your spec and then they work on their own. So it's completely outsourced. We don't like that because our product's very complex. There are a lot of nuance go into it. We want to actually own the product, own the product like a path. So we want to actually just hire engineers. So when I talk with Fred and Alan, I really like their model. They're a talent agency, not a dev shop, and they hire. I really like the model because they hire local engineers in the Philippines, and they train them they brought in a European architect and train the engineers to follow and follow the software development process in Europe and in US. So the quality is there. And I remember in the meeting, they also, Alan also mentioned that, because I was curious, because the Philippines is now the country that will come to my mind when we talk about software engineering. So I actually asked Alan, I said, why did you choose the Philippines? And I actually really like his answer, and it will come true later on when I start working with Arcanys. And then he said he looked into different countries, different markets. And then the reason he chose Philippines is actually the personality, the culture of the country. So Filipinos are very happy people. They are very agreeable. They are very collaborative. So I really like that. So when we started working with the team at Arcanys in the Philippines. I think that's absolutely true. It's really was very pleasant working with them.
Awesome.
So yeah, so
I just want to add one thing with the first meeting I had with Jing, and I will always remember that Jing was the most prepared founder I've ever met to choose a provider or a partner to do the work for them. So I would recommend to everyone to do your research and to talk to people and to try to understand the different types of dev shops, as you mentioned, that are around, because it can really, if you choose the wrong partner, it can really break your business, and especially even more so at an early stage. I've seen so many guys who just had to throw everything away and didn't have cash anymore to carry on. So I really loved our conversation with my conversation with Jing. I will always remember that.
Thanks, Fred. Yeah, we did quite a bit of research. We looked into different options like hiring on those TopTel or touring platform, and or like just like hiring a dev shop. So we looked into various options. I really like Arcanys model. So basically, Arcanys allow us to just focus on product and technology, and like we don't have to spend time on like hiring, managing the HR and the payroll, all those other things. So like 100% of my time is really on managing the team and the product itself. So which is great.
Great. Really good to go back and hear about the beginning. And before we also kick it off with the official Q&A, the open Q&A, maybe very quickly, because it's also a very important topic for us, and we speak about it, that our support as investors, as Techstars, but also Fred covered it, is not just temporary support, but we always try to stick around long beyond the program and really cultivate the relationship and the support to the founders. How would you say has the partnership between you as investor and investee evolved?
Like partnership with Arcanys
Yeah.
evolves. Yeah. So I have to say, like after we start working with Arcanys, the way actually we started is because Fred said I'm very prepared. I'm also very cautious. So when we started, we just say, hey, let's try one with one engineer first. Okay, so how it works? Because I mean, building a company and building a team, you need actually build up the cultures. You need to figure out whether there's a culture fit. So we started with one engineer, Leah, and it works out really well. So she dovetailed with our onshore team. And we were really able to move the product development much faster. And then we 6 months later, we add a second one. Now we have 5 engineers on the team. So all the tractions we got right now, we're on track for $300,000 ARR this year. And we have paying customers in 8 different states. So all this traction started after we start working with Arcanys, when we built a team with Arcanys, and like our product took off. And so yeah, so I think that's on the development product engineering side. And then on the venture side, we actually not quite aware of Arcanys Venture until probably a year later after we start collaborating, partnering. And then I think actually maybe Alan was the one broached the topic, say, hey, one time we were doing our update meeting, and then he asked us, are you guys raising money and raising funding? What's the status? So we had a good chat, and he said, oh yeah, we have a fund on the side. We invest in like our client. So that's what we started talking about. And so yeah, they have been a great partner and a great investor and very, very supportive. So yeah, we actually, without their support, I don't think we can reach our current stage.
Thank you for sharing, Jing, also Fred. I would say, looking at the time, we can move on to the open Q&A. I'll hand it back to Martin, and we might have time for a couple of questions.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Jing, Fred, Gianluca, Sheila, for the moderation. Yeah, we see a lot of questions coming up. So perhaps you remove the slides, Sheila, so we see this as well. Okay, are there any hands in the air? Anyone who wants to unmute and ask a question, or should we go through the chat? Duncan, you have a question. Hi, Duncan, nice to meet you.
Yeah, and I apologize if I'm wasting any time, but I was just curious. Post seed funding rounds, Series A, B, C, what percentage of startups that go through your accelerators are you guys investing in there? Or
yeah,
what does that look like?
I don't have all numbers in front of me now, but for example, when we look at maturity and the vintage of our batches, speaking about our first program here in Turin, we invested in 10 companies. 9 are still active and growing. All of them raised funding. Now we have companies there who raised between 20 and 30 million in some cases. So the further you go back in time, the more you see companies that hopefully still exist and grow through rounds. We have a very, very high success rate in terms of follow-on funding. It's close to 80%. Looking at Series A and B, I would need to look into the data. Yeah, but you know, when we invest, as Jing mentioned as well, is extremely early, and we help you to finding your first, second investor. I'm also still in touch with companies that went through my first program in Berlin in 2018, that raised Series A, Series B. But usually, what happens by definition and nature is that we hand over those companies to investors who then again activate their networks, who bring co-investors to their Series A, Series B. So it's not our, let's say, success to say, hey, we help you with your Series B round, but rather like finding the first, second investor post-program, and then those investors are also very actively helping in.
Oh, yes, sir, of course. I was just curious what that looked like. Not that
very good question.
Be applicable to our startup, but just in general.
I have a question about the $20,000 initial investment by Techstars. Can you clarify that? I read that on the website. Can you clarify that?
The 120,000. I didn't get the amount, or what did you ask what?
I thought it was a $20,000 cash.
Okay. You know, so we provide you with 120,000 total investment. There are 2 components in this investment. So one is the price for the program that we take from our companies that join Techstars, that get support in the program from us, from the mentors for life. It's a 6% common equity. You get $20,000 cash component. Most startups use it to travel, to pay accommodation during the program, and all companies that we accept receive the option to take a $100,000 convertible note that is kept at a $3 to $5 million valuation. So if you already raised funds before our program, we can increase our cap to maximum 5 million. If not, we hand it out at a $3 million cap. So if you combine this 100,000 plus 20,000, you give up between 8 to 9% to join our program. Is that clear?
Yeah. Is that made for every company accepted into the program? No exception?
Yes. All 12 companies in our batch received this 120,000 investment.
Okay.
Thank you. I see more hands in the air. Delma.
Hi, thank you, Martin. I have a question regarding, so Gianluca briefly touched on it when he was speaking regarding, there's so many accelerators out there. They all have really similar, models and benefits, even, equity distribution, etc. I've read through your thesis, your investment thesis. So besides your investment thesis and obviously the fame, if you will, of Techstars globally and recognition, what in particular would you say your program in Torino actually, distinguishes itself, adds value? Why do you believe this is a program to apply to?
Yeah, very, very good question. Look, I agree with you, right? So I think the term accelerator is very widespread today, and I think in many cases also a bit diluted. What does it mean for an accelerator to accelerate a company? What we have built here in Turin, I think, is pretty unique globally, right? So we started with a smart mobility focused program. When I came to Italy, obviously I'm not from Italy, so it was a bit surprising to me, like, why do we focus ourselves here on mobility only? Why don't we tap into other industries? We see a lot of great initiatives. Someone is speaking across the globe. We see a lot of exciting startups. So we broadened this theme to smart city. Now we call it transformative world. So we try to invest in companies that are really able to disrupt and transform industries. We have built an extremely strong community here with local players, with 3 corporate partners that are supporting us day in, day out, with Italy's largest bank. We work with the innovation center there. They have a global network. They serve probably 70% of corporates across Italy, but they also have locations in New York, in Singapore, in Tel Aviv, tapping into a very huge network, really like driving innovation. They also invest in companies. They have a 500 million euro fund that invest in companies. They invest in other funds, as our 2 other foundations do as well. They are not operatively or like strategically relevant to our companies in many cases, right? So they don't help you straight away with your, let's say, traction. But what they do is they bring huge networks and activate a lot of support in many different industries. So you're not just tied to one partner, which sometimes is not the fit, either stage-wise or industry-wise. But this foundations, the oldest foundations in Italy, they invest in infrastructure, they invest in funds, they invest in companies, bring massive networks to our program. So we have the Techstars network, we have the 3 corporate partners who are activating globally active networks from VCs, investors, angels, mentors, companies that might work with you. Stellantis is one example, our neighbor here. In addition to that, we have built a very strong relationship with Torino City Lab. I think this is a very unique initiative in Europe, perhaps even across the globe. This is an initiative driven by the government. Those who build B2G companies, you know how difficult it is to sell to municipalities or cities. This entity is driving innovation in cities. So we have companies also like from my first program here, for example, Automotives from Los Angeles. They raised more than 18 million since our program. They had the opportunity to access police cameras across the city day one with a very early stage MVP, which is pretty difficult to address. We have 35 kilometers of autonomous roads across the city where you can test solutions. We have drone testing environments across the city, inside of buildings, outside, where you can test different drone solutions in safe environments. And this initiative is not like only providing us access to testing fields. They also operate research centers. They have AI technology centers with a lot of know-how and expertise. And they work with roughly 80 to 90 partners. I mentioned a few of them like Intel and Cisco, who are eager to meet innovative companies. So you get a unique expertise from different networks, very global ones. In addition to that, of course, like our team, we are now entering the 6th program. I have done 2 programs before. We have the know-how here with amazing people. I bring in people from all over the world. Fred is one of them. We know each other for 12 years. My startup worked with Arcanys back then as well. I bring in mentors from my program in Berlin. I'm bringing mentors from my program in Amsterdam. I did investment banking in the past before starting other companies. I lived in Asia. So we bring a lot of global people to this program here in Italy, in Turin. So giving you the best from all over the world in the most beautiful location, in addition to the best food and environment here in Turin.
Thank you, Martin. I really appreciate you going into the detail of your partners and kind of what they offer within the city. Thank you.
Pleasure. Thanks for the question. And Samson, please.
All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. So, hi, Eric. Hi, Gianluca, and Fred, and Sheila, and Jing. So, first of all, I will say this webinar has been very informative and exciting. I've actually attended a couple of webinars organized by Techstars, and I'm quite not so sure or certain as regards some of the criteria that is required for like a startup to actually qualify to apply, because I know sometimes most of the accelerators I know that I've applied to, they're always keen on you having developed your MVP and also acquired at least revenue, like for you to be able to prove that you have a product market fit and that also you have users on your platform. I was just speaking with Fred on the chat because I asked him a few questions, and thankfully he was generous enough to give me very good answers that I asked. So the truth is, the stage my startup currently is we've been working on the idea for like over a year now, and we've been able to secure partnerships with certain organizations that they like our idea, they like what we proposed and what we are the solutions we are trying to solve with tech, but they need us to have an MVP for them to actually give us the go ahead to implement those proposals. But our challenge is because of the number of users, like the scale or the level of those organizations, we're having challenges building an MVP, right? So I was speaking with Fred, is at this stage, can we also qualify to apply to Techstars so that we can be able to get those resources we need to build our product, because we've already done our market research, and what we need right now at this stage, like I said, we've acquired some partnerships like with 2 organizations already, but what they need for us is they want to see our MVP so that they can give us the go ahead to onboard those organizations, and they can start using they can acquire our services, so to speak. So do we qualify to apply for this Torino program? And if yes, I also want to ask, because of the distance, we are based in Nigeria, how do I put it now? What are the arrangements that can be made available for our team to be able to attend the program if we apply and then we are also selected?
Yeah, so I take the first question quickly. Thanks for asking. We invest in teams mainly, right? So for us, traction can mean or can be like very diverse. We invested in companies that applied with a Google Sheet, basically showing that there is a problem and market need. So I think similar to what you mentioned, you sold something without having a ready product. This is fine if you can prove that there is a problem and you're able to solve it. It can be LOIs, it can be interest, it can be a basic product idea. That is more important than having a fully fleshed out product. So we can also help you also with Arcanys Ventures here, like setting up the right strategy, technology, and help you building. So yes, there is never too early or too late for us, honestly. The second question, once you're accepted, we give you this 120,000 USD. So we would expect you to cover your, let's say, flight and travel and accommodation costs from this funding. We can help you with like resources, how to find apartments here. Yeah, you have an office for 3 months here in OGR. It's a huge space here where all our companies are located. So free facilities, free coffee, and we help you with finding apartments and yeah, of course, giving you tips on the city structure and so on.
All right. Thank you very
Okay.
much. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. We are way beyond time, guys, but happy to take the final question from Jason.
Hey, how's it going? Good morning, good evening, all of that. I'm based here in Austin, Texas. First of all, I want to thank you, Martin, Sheila, John, Luca, Fred, and Virginia. You all have been fantastic. There's something that Fred stated that really stood out to me. I feel as though, and you all have worked with enough founders to kind of give me the answer to this. Sometimes I feel as though I have a unrealistic expectation for others. I'm a go-getter, I'm a driver, and that's my personality. And so I have been like self-employed for a little over 3 years now. And one of the individuals who are helping with the process, two of the individuals who are helping with the process, they have a full-time job. And I don't expect to tell anybody to quit your job, take a chance on life, forget about your bills, just trust me, we'll make this happen, right? But I guess to Fred's point, he had brought up making sure that you pick the right people early, right? And so just want to get your advice on that, kind of identifying how could I potentially be overthinking? Are my expectations too high? Or is like, Fred, if you could, when you say knowing to pick the right people, I just want you to elaborate on that. Anyone else also?
Thank you. Fred, want to answer that?
Yeah, so I think it's about understanding how committed they are to the project and how you can envision together to move forward. If these people have really special skills, then also how can you use them even part-time if they have financial commitments, families and stuff like that they can't leave, right? So so if those are the real good people, then it's about trying to find the funding that might allow you to hire them or to get them on board with you, right? If this doesn't work because they can't come on board with you on the long term, then you probably have to find other founders, other solutions, unfortunately, right? But I would first look at how can I fund these exceptional people if they really are. And if not, then you have to look at other options.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think you overthink, Jason. Like it's like marrying the right person, right? You date, you figure out, do you align? And usually it's a long-term journey. So if you're alone and you have people who you think they are best fit for going through this very difficult and challenging period, I mean, we all know how difficult it is to build a company. You start from scratch, so you have to have the right mindset and the right team. And when we look at companies, we have 6 criteria. It's team, market traction, idea, because with a team that is committed, dedicated, and really wants to make it happen, building something in an exciting, huge, innovative market, we can turn bad ideas into good ones. Versus if you're not aligned and you give up too early, this is one of the biggest failing points for companies. They stop because they either are not creative enough to get funding or find customers early enough or find product market fit. You go nowhere, right? Versus the right team and the right mindset, you can be open enough to explore, to elaborate, to go different ways to get to your goals. So I think it's extremely important to find people who are very like-minded, who have the same ambitions. And I'm not saying you have to agree on everything, but at least the vision of what you want to build and that, you stick together through ups and downs, because this is what it's about to build a startup nowadays.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I see there are many questions in the chat, but Virginia is very busy with answering. Hope this was informative, guys. Thank you so much for joining today. Check out our program, check out www.techstars.com. All information is there. We have a lot of blogs. Reach out to our founders. Thank you so much to all my speakers, Fred, Gianluca, Jing. Thanks for moderating, Sheila. And yeah, thanks for attending, guys. Good luck with the company. Keep building, and we might see you in the future.
Thank you, everyone. Great to meet you.
Bye.
Thank you.